Have you ever come across a belief system that doesn't revolve around a god, but instead puts all the power of enlightenment right into your hands? That's exactly what Buddhism is all about, and today, we're diving deep into one of its most fascinating questions. Why don't Buddhists believe in God? Now, before we get into it, this isn't about questioning anyone's faith or starting a debate. Buddhism actually encourages us to be curious, to question everything, even its own teachings. Whether you're someone who follows a religion, you're on the fence, or you just love exploring new ideas, stick with me. We're about to challenge some assumptions and see the world through a different lens. Ready? Let's jump in. Alright, let's talk about God. Typically, when we think of God, we imagine an all-powerful being who created the universe and watches over everything, right? Well, here's where Buddhism takes a different turn. Buddha didn't focus on this idea. His teachings weren't about who created the universe or why it exists, they were about something far more practical: how to overcome suffering in the here and now. When people asked Buddha about God or the universe, he often stayed silent. Why? Because to him, those questions didn't help in solving the real issue, human suffering. He was all about finding inner peace and breaking free from the cycle of suffering right now, not waiting for answers from somewhere else. But here's where it gets really interesting. Does this mean Buddhists don't believe in anything higher? Not exactly. Some Buddhists do believe in deities, but they're not seen as almighty creators. Instead, they represent qualities like compassion and wisdom, almost like inspirational figures, not beings who control our fate. Buddhism is really all about you. It teaches that you already have the power within you to overcome suffering and find happiness. You don't need to rely on any external force or savior. It's like discovering you've had a hidden superpower all along. The key is to unlock it by understanding yourself. Think about this. Instead of praying for a miracle, Buddhism says you have the tools to create your own transformation. It's about taking charge of your own journey. In fact, one of Buddha's last teachings was, "Be a light unto yourself." In other words, trust your instincts, question what you hear, and don't follow anyone blindly. Now, let's throw another big idea into the mix: karma. Buddhists believe in this idea of cause and effect, where your actions today shape your experiences tomorrow. There's no divine being up there keeping a tally. You are the one creating your own future through the choices you make. Imagine planting seeds. What you plant today is what you'll harvest in the future. Karma isn't about punishment or reward, it's simply the natural flow of consequences from your actions. But wait, it gets even deeper. Buddhists also believe that everything, including who we are, is constantly changing. There's no permanent self that stays the same forever. Instead, we're more like a flowing river of thoughts, emotions, and experiences. The moment we cling to a fixed idea of who we are, we start suffering. The key to finding freedom is embracing this constant change, kind of like surfing the waves of life rather than fighting against them. Now, I know this can sound a little mind-bending, but that's where meditation comes in. Buddhism is all about experiencing these truths for yourself. It's not about sitting around debating ideas, it's about getting out there and practicing mindfulness, exploring your own mind, and discovering these insights firsthand. In fact, Buddhism is like a giant treasure hunt. But the treasure isn't gold or jewels. It's the realization that you have endless wisdom and compassion already within you. You just need to tap into it. Here's a great story from Buddhist teachings. A monk once got into a debate with a traveler who said, "Your path is incomplete because you don't believe in God." The monk simply replied, "Even if there is a God, we follow this path because it brings us peace and freedom, not because of blind faith." It's a perfect example of how Buddhism focuses on what works in your experience, rather than relying on theories or beliefs. Buddhism also encourages you not to take anything at face value, even its own teachings. In one famous teaching, Buddha told a group of skeptics, "Don't just believe something because it's tradition or because I say it. Investigate for yourself. Test it. Only follow what you see leads to good. So, what does all this mean for us? Buddhism is challenging in the best way possible. It pushes us to rethink spirituality. Instead of waiting for answers to come from above, it tells us to look within. Trust your experience. Test everything for yourself. Whether you find these ideas exciting, challenging, or even a little uncomfortable, one thing's for sure, it's a powerful approach to life. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Does the Buddhist perspective make you curious? Does it challenge what you've believed? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. And if this sparked some new thoughts, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep exploring these big ideas together. Remember, no video or book can give you all the answers. The real wisdom comes from your own journey, your own practice, and your own insights. So keep questioning, keep exploring, and let's see what you uncover.